Hey everyone, thanks for watching today. Today's episode is very different than what we normally do because today I am not taking you out to a creek or a river because the material I have here today wasn't hand dug by me or anybody else for that matter. The material I have here today is actually residue from a commercial sand and gravel operation. A buddy of mine that owns a small operation out here in Pennsylvania, I won't disclose where, but it is here in Pennsylvania and the dirt is 100% Pennsylvania dirt. So he walked me through his operation and I was able to identify a spot that I thought heavies and gold would all kind of accumulate and collect. And from that spot, we took a couple buckets. There's still a lot there, but we took a couple buckets and we're gonna run it through the gold cube and we're gonna see what kind of gold is running through their operation. Now the point of this episode is to hopefully see something really nice, something that gets you a little excited to be a prospector in Pennsylvania. And I already know that some of it's in there because I did a couple test pans of this material, and in it, in like the first 2 or 3 test pans I did, I found the biggest piece of gold I have ever found in Pennsylvania. It was a very nice Pennsylvania picker, and we'll add it to the pile at the end, and I'm excited to see what the rest of this dirt has to offer. So let's fire up the gold cube and see what we have at the end. Now this gold cube has always done a really good job at catching flour gold and small gold, but I've never been concerned about nuggets or anything like that, but it does have a nugget trap, so hopefully if there's any more of those big flakes like I showed you earlier, that it does actually get caught in that trap, and because it won't sit on top like some of the smaller stuff does. Alright, so the cleanup process is done. I got the gold right here, but before I show you the gold, I want to talk a little bit about exactly where in the sand and gravel plant I got this material from. So inside the operation, the way it works is the raw material goes through a dry screen where all the small stuff will make its way up to a conveyor belt. Everything that's too big will go through a rock crusher until it's small enough to also go up that conveyor belt. Once it goes up that conveyor belt, that reaches the highest point of the whole operation, and that is where it is first introduced to water. And then from there, it gets screened down again, and all that stuff that is washing away ends up in like a tub or like a hopper that has slanted steel and to one direction where it guides the material into an exit pipe and then onto the next part of the process. Well, that exit pipe is about 12 to 15 inches off the very bottom, and everything below that never leaves the pipe, and it's still being hit by water, so all the heavy stuff is still sinking to the bottom. And that is where I got this material. If you're having a hard time visualizing that, here's a short animation that kind of helps show you how it works. As you can see, the sand is going through the classifiers and it's hitting that slanted steel and accumulating at the very bottom. And that's where this material came from. So as you can imagine, that's going to be some really concentrated material with a lot of heavies in it. In fact, there was a lot of lead. I found a lot of lead and a lot of black sand. But the gold cube did do a good job at sweeping most of it away. It was really fun to take the gold cube apart and see the gold kind of sitting on top of the ribs, and even a couple pickers inside the nugget trap. But after I hosed it down and had to pan it by hand, that's where it really got difficult, managing all that black sand. At one point I was just sort of separating some black sand and sucking it out and repeating that process. But anyways, I think I've kept you long enough. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the gold. Now, I'm going to do something I have never done before on this show, and that is we're going to weigh this gold. So If you have a guess at how much you think that weighs, go ahead and leave a comment down below and see how close you are. But let's weigh it up. All right, so we've weighed it up, and that was pretty interesting to do. It's about a little more than $100 for that little bit amount of dirt we ran. Pretty exciting to have it jarred up and added to the collection. So there it is, guys. As you can see, Pennsylvania has some really good gold out there, and if it could be found in a wash plant, it could be found in the wild. So I hope this encourages you to get out there, get the kids outside, get the family out there, and do some prospecting. And hopefully you guys find some really good gold too. And most importantly, I hope you have a lot of fun doing it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.